What a way to start the new year. Vinyl Tag 2024.
I didn't just fall in love with your writing. I fell in love with you.
Nah, screw that.
I hope that you love me back.
I just can't stop laughing, dude. Hey, what's up? I'm Jason, and this is my Vinyl Tag 2024 video. Show an album that was released in 1974, and let's kick this list off right with the man himself, Frank Zappa, and the Mothers. This is Roxy and Elsewhere. Not only is this my favorite album from 1974, but this is a desert island album for me. It's just four sides of brilliance and genius, amazing playing by every musician. I just love it. That's my pick for 1974, Roxy and Elsewhere. All right, show a record that is so familiar. It seems like a greatest hits album, and I mean, I could have went in so many different directions here. I could have did Thriller, I could have did Rumors, I could have did a couple different Journey albums. Instead, I picked Van Halen's 1984. To me, this is just a kick-ass album. This is probably my favorite rock album to come out of the 80s. I mean, Jump, Panama, Drop Dead Legs, etc., etc. It's just an amazing kick-ass album. I love it. This is the one that to me seems like a greatest hits. All right, if I could choose a record cover that I want to be a part of, I assume that means just jump right into whatever's happening on the cover. All right, show me a record you would describe as a 90s classic. And I don't know if this is a 90s classic to most people, but it's definitely a 90s classic for me. And it's one of the only 90s albums I have on vinyl. My pick is Zoot Suit Riot by Cherry Poppin' Daddies. Man, in the late 90s, I mean, all of the swing revival stuff that was going on with Cherry Poppin' Daddies, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, Brian Setzer's orchestra, I mean, all of that stuff. Royal Crown Review was just, it was right up my alley. And I was in the epicenter in San Francisco, going to all the shows, looking the look, walking the walk, dancing, the whole nine yards, man. I bought in wholeheartedly. I miss it. I really wish the swing revival would make another revival. Could we resuscitate it one more time? Probably not, but Cherry Poppin' Daddies, man, this is just a killer album. Zoot Suit Riot. All right, the favorite video I posted on my channel in 2023 has to be the video that I made on Eric Dolphy's Out to Lunch, the first volume of what makes this album great. And the reason that's my favorite video is because it's just so near and dear to my heart. I worked really hard on that album. I researched it really hard. I mostly think it came out the way I wanted it to. And I've gotten some really good feedback on it. So that was definitely a labor of love. And I can't wait to do more videos like that. As for a video that was my favorite video that I watched in the VC in 2023, I would have to say Mr. Hall of Fame's 2023 room tour. I mean, not only was that the most epic room tour of all time, because this man lives in a record store. I'm not saying a record store lives in his house. He lives in a record store, and it was as depressing as it was epic. I mean, it's amazing what he's been able to accomplish over there. And that was an incredible video. It just keeps going and going and going. I loved it. You know, I'm sure it's kind of a dream that we all aspire to, is to have, you know, literally a record store in our homes. So anyway, that was probably my favorite video from 2023. All right, She's Great, a record that I bought in 2023, female artist, Sarah Vaughan. I mean, this is an amazing album. And actually, this was a hard one because there's probably 3 or 4 female jazz singers that I could have easily thrown on this list, but this album is just killer. I love Sarah Vaughan. This is in mono on the Mercury label. It's just a classic album, you know, self-titled. You got Clifford Brown on here, Herbie Mann, Roy Haynes. I mean, they're all here. This is an amazing album. So yeah, definitely got to go with Sarah Vaughan. Show a record you think everybody has and show a record you think nobody has. Well, I mean, come on, everyone has Fleetwood Mac Rumors, right? I mean, if you don't have it, you probably have had it at some point. It's a fantastic album. You know, it's one of those things that just took pop music from the 70s and took it into the studio and just mixed it and mastered it impeccably. It's just an amazing album. And I have a feeling everybody has this. And an album that I think nobody has, I mean, this is Trick or Treat. This is a bootleg, Mothers of Invention from the early 70s, Royal Festival Hall. This is on a bootleg Bizarre label with just some killer artwork, man. I know I've shown this a couple times on different videos, but it's just so cool, man. It's got that old horror comic book style going on. And I just love it. I don't think a lot of people have this. This is actually an ex-library album, and I feel very fortunate to have it and to that it was actually well preserved despite being a record that people would check out and take home, although I have a feeling this didn't get checked out very often. All right, show a funk or soul album, and I gotta go with Heat Wave, Central Heating. I just love this album, man. It's so good. It got Groove Line on it, but this thing is just wall-to-wall funk. And it's the one that just keeps jumping on my turntable. You know what I mean? It's so funky. And when I need that little spice in my life, it's like, this is the one I turn to. So yeah, Heat Wave, Central Heating. Do not sleep on this one. All right, show a record you bought when you were a teenager. I mean, good God, there's just way too many to pick from. But you know, one that stands out for me and one that I listen to basically over and over and over. And I had the cassette tape also so that I wouldn't miss a thing when we were on the road. But the singles collection by The Cure, Standing on a Beach, is just, it's classic. You know, I love it, man. I was so into The Cure at this time. I mean, I was really into Depeche Mode, The Cure, the B-52s, Peter Murphy, the Bauhaus. I mean, you name it. I was into all that stuff, man. I was Mr. Modern Rock alternative when I was in high school. So, but this is a fantastic album. You know, if you just want the early singles by The Cure, and they actually accompanied this with a video that had all the videos from all the tunes on here, and I had that too. But yeah, just an amazing. I don't know if this has ever been reissued. This is an original, and fantastic album. All right, so name some vinyl community channels that I discovered in 2023. Let me just go down the list. We got Concert Buddy, Happy Hippie the Vinyl Guy, Ricefield Records, Omaha Introvert, Mr. Hall of Fame. Yeah, there's a lot of great channels. There's, you know, really too many to name. But yeah, those are all channels that I think are fantastic. You should check them out if you haven't already. I'm sure you already have, but yeah, those are some of the channels I discovered in 2023. All right, imagine you could only listen to music from one country. What country would it be? I mean, the United States. Blues, jazz, no, and a lot of great rock music too. But yeah, I mean, that's just the music I grew up with, you know, and obviously a lot of music coming out of the UK as well. But yeah, I just couldn't give up all that jazz and early blues and stuff like that. So gotta say the US. All right, we lost them in 2023. I put Jeff Beck on my list. This is his album Truth. Japanese pressing, very cool obi strip on there. Fantastic album. And yeah, I mean, so many musicians have left us in recent years, and in the last year there were more. But yeah, Jeff Beck is going to be my pick for someone that we lost in 2023. Rest in peace, Jeff Beck. All right, so who's coming to the dinner party? You can pick 4 music-related people, and there are a lot of music-related people that I probably would have put on this list higher than the people that I've actually selected, but I wanted to show album covers for the people that I actually have. So we're gonna pick musicians. Number 1 is Eric Dolphy. I mean, I could sit up all night chatting with Eric Dolphy. I would love an opportunity to do that. He's number 1 on my list. And number 2 is Bobby Hutcherson for the same reasons. Genius, jazz musician, and composer. Yeah, give me Dolphy and Hutcherson any day of the week. All right, then next on my list will be Jerry Garcia, man. I would love to you know, hang out by the fire with Jerry, just kind of pick his brain, you know, on the right day. You know, if I could catch him on the right day, I think he'd be just a fun, down-to-earth person to chat with. And then Jimi Hendrix. I mean, you know, Jimmy, God, just an opportunity to sit down and chat with Jimmy for any reason would be fantastic. So yeah, I got to put number 4 is going to be Jimmy. Show 7 7-inch records, and I can't do that. I don't collect 7-inch records, but I did get a giveaway this year. It's like the one thing I've won ever. But anyway, it's Bananarama's Cruel Summer. There it is in all its glory. Scratches and all. That's the best I can do. Bananarama Cruel Summer. very happy to have won this on Whatnot. So yeah, sorry, that's all I got. That's all I got for 7-inch, man. If you asked me about 10-inch, I would have done 10-inch, but I can't do 7-inch. What band or singer did you listen to most in 2023? So, I mean, you know, I think most of the music that I'm going to listen to on repeat is probably going to be on Spotify when I'm in the car, when I'm working, you know, whatever. So, according to Spotify, the album that I listened to most in 2023 was The Police, Ghost in the Machine. It's probably because I had Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic on repeat. This just has some really cool tunes on it, and for whatever reason, this is an album that resonated with me in 2023. So, and yeah, it checks out. The Police, Ghost in the Machine. All right, show a record from a band or a singer from Manchester. And as I'm going down the list, it's like there's a lot of them. I was surprised there's so many bands I listen to that are from Manchester. But again, I had to go back to my 80s roots. And this time we got New Order, Substance, 1987, The Singles. This is an epic record. And also, I'm just very happy to have this on vinyl. This is an original UK pressing with the embossed lettering and everything. And this is just classic. But yeah, this was one of those albums that I had on cassette tape that was just on repeat back in the 80s, along with The Cure and the Smiths and all of that stuff. So yeah, I love this album. All right, so if I could only pick music from one decade to listen to for all time, and this is actually a good question, there's really no competition for me. I would 100% go back to the 40s. I just love big band music and the birth of bebop. So here's a few. I mean, Bud Powell. I could listen to Bud Powell all day long. Charlie Parker, of course. Love Charlie Parker. And then the man himself, Dizzy Gillespie. I mean, the entertainer, you know, the man that changed music for all time and really carried the torch for bebop in those early days. And just the best trumpet of all time. So yeah, man, I love music from the 40s. I couldn't give that up. I mean, it's just something I've listened to my whole life even as a goofy kid. And so, yeah, 1940s music for sure. All right, a band or artist who released 2 albums in the same year. And so I hate to say it, but I took the easy way out on this one. I know Frank Zappa released multiple records probably every year of his career. So that was kind of a no-brainer. And my favorite era of Zappa's is probably early 70s. I mean, it's for sure early 70s. So let's take it right back to 1970 and 2 albums that came out in 1970 by Frank and the Mothers is we got Chunga's Revenge. This is actually the first album that I sat and listened to front and back by Frank Zappa when I discovered this in a milk crate underneath the stairs, and my life was changed for all time. So Chunga's Revenge is one. And then, of course, coming out in the same year, we got Burnt Weenie Sandwich, another just amazing, epic album with an amazing, epic cover. I just love Zappa's early 70s stuff, as I said. So yeah, 1970, Frank Zappa. All right, the last record you bought in 2023. And I tend to buy records in lots. So this is one of the last records I bought in 2023, but it's actually one of my favorite albums I got from 2023 also. And that is Ron Carter's Where, which we got Eric Dolphy on here. We also got Mal Waldron on piano. An amazing album. I love all of these new jazz prestige pressings that came out where, you know, Eric Dolphy is somewhere on the album. So whether it's an Eric Dolphy session or not, they put out kind of a series of these. And I think I have most of them. And they're just all fantastic. So I had to pick the one with Ron Carter. Snagged this in December of 2023. So yeah, this is one of the last albums that I purchased, and it's just fantastic. All right, so here we are, the grand finale. What is my favorite album that I picked up in 2023? And again, this is another one where there's just way too many to mention, as I'm sure it is for all of us. But I love this album because for a lot of things. I mean, for one, it's not a cheap album, generally speaking, and I was able to get it for a great price. And I consider this to be the best album by this artist. Although, man, even just saying that is like blasphemy. But anyway, Components by Bobby Hutcherson. This is a fantastic album on Blue Note, as most of Bobby Hutcherson's early stuff. Well, not all of his early stuff was on Blue Note. But this one's got Herbie Hancock, James Spaulding, Ron Carter, and Joe Chambers. So, man, what a lineup. And Bobby's work is so great on here. The first side is all Bobby Hutcherson compositions, and side 2 is all Joe Chambers compositions. So just an amazing, amazing album. And so yeah, there it is, my favorite album that I picked up in 2023. If you're not someone that has a YouTube channel and is gonna film one of these lists, let me know what you think. Let me know what's on your list. If you want an opportunity to kind of show off or share your thoughts on this 2024 vinyl tag. Feel free to do so in the comment section down below. I would love to see what your picks are. Thanks so much for watching the video, and I will see you next time.